everybody, it's Michelle LaVore and
Devin LaVore
coming at ya. So we wanted to just share with you kind of what our morning was like.
It's just a humorous catchphrase.
It is.
It's caught on. It's become like our brand. You know, it's like,
isn't
isn't that the Coming At Ya group? The Coming At Ya people? Yes, I love them.
That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's the things that you don't.
It's like the nicknames. They just catch. They just catch, and it's like, oh, I've been like Snoop Dogg. He's been that since he was like a kid, you know, or Rampage Jackson. He's been like Rampage. Anyway, we digress. Once again, Rabbit Trail Devin coming at you.
So anyway, we just wanted to kind of share what God shared with us today, this morning. And I have to say, I woke up kind of in just a slump.
A languishing
of heart. It really was just this like, and really our whole family. We started off our prayer when we were doing our prayer time. We did worship and then we sat down to pray, and every single one of our kids was just praying that, you know, like for the promise, like that we'd get to our house, that we'd move to Nashville, that, you know, and even our daughter, she was just like, God, I'm so sad, like, that we're not there yet. And
I got to minister off of a Psalm 62:8, which says, pour out your heart to the Lord, you know, and then it goes, and I was saying, that's good that you do that. That's actually something God wants to hear, you know, pour out your heart. And then it goes on to say, men of low station or men of high station, none of them actually have power.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've heard it, God said it once, and I've heard it twice, that true power belongs to God.
Yeah. And
God alone. So it's like trust in Him, lean on Him who has the true power. You know, it's like, here we go. The Lord's starting to work something out here. It's like, all right, where are we going with this?
Yeah. And then it was my turn to pray
and cry.
Mm-hmm. But I was starting to pray, and it was just like, wow, I'm just so heartbroken. And then you started just praying over me, and because
I felt like I should. I saw in the spirit, honestly, just this blanket wrapped around you. You know how, like, when you like bring people out of a like they are almost drowning, or they're coming out of a fire, so it's like you come out of this trauma type of experience. And I felt like that's what God was saying, like your heart's in this kind of traumatic state. Yeah. And He wanted to blanket you with His loving kindness and His love, just to let you know that I got you, you're okay.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's when
someone
just
out there
really started crying. No, at that point, I got the tears running, and
it was a tender moment. It really was.
Yeah.
You know, God just shows up and just say, hey, you're tough, you're a soldier and all that stuff, but you're my daughter.
Yeah.
And I love you. That first.
Yeah.
More than anything, you know?
Yeah. And so it was just, it was kind of like that. It's like, okay, all right, we'll make it through. Because
another day to endure.
Because it really has been. I mean, it's the last day of September, and there's just so many expectations and hopes that were placed on today. Not that the day's over yet, but it's just that, you know, just so much.
The September to remember has really been ringing true, or been ringing, not necessarily ringing true, but been ringing in our ears the past couple days. And we're just like, well, it is the last day of September, but, you know, it's like, but you know what? This is what I'm going to do. I choose to just, you know, Lord, I'm going to praise you.
Yeah.
I'm going to thank you. Because this is who you are. And I had to lead my whole family.
Yes.
And declaring things. Because everyone else was sobby except me. Praise the Lord, is the grace of God. Because I could have woke up sobby too.
Yeah.
And then it's just, we all would have been just like sobby. It's like, God's like, no, I need somebody in the family right now to be strong. And I just felt great when I woke up this morning. And I was just like, God is going to do something amazing. God is just, He is here with us, and He is just declaring truths that are true no matter what your life circumstances are. You know? And I think it helped us.
It really did.
Everyone started feeling a little better, you know?
Yeah, and then...
Oh, you want to be in the video? You little video hog. You always got to be in the video. People are like, yay, the baby. Say hi, buddy. Every time he always looks at the screen, he's just like, ooh, light.
Yeah.
Anyway, keep going.
So then we just we started. We're like, okay, well, we prayed, and then we're like, all right, we're gonna get into, the Bible.
Got our feelings out there.
Yeah. And so we started reading, and we're in Ruth chapter 3, and basically we just read to the very last verse of chapter 3, and once we got to that verse, it was pretty much like, wow.
Because we did our worship and then our prayer time and then our reading. Usually it's the slightly reverse, different.
But so I'll just read to you what we read. Then said she, and it's talking about Naomi, "Sit still, my daughter."
Naomi said to Ruth.
To Ruth, yeah. "Until you learn how the matter turns out.
Right there. I knew. I was like, that jumped out at me, and I knew the Lord was saying, this is what I'm saying to you guys right now, today, regarding all the issues that every single one of you, even our 4-year-old, that was the heart of his prayer. He was just like, if we don't get out of here, I'm going to lose it as a 4-year-old. You know what I mean? In his 4-year-old way.
Yeah.
And it was like, right then I knew, like, this is God's answer to us right now of everything we just prayed. Because even I prayed that. I was like, Lord, release us today. Release something. Do something today. Or, even if not today, tomorrow, whatever. Yeah. But it's like,
it's just our heart's cry.
We really want to hear an answer of something today.
For the matters of our hearts.
Right.
And
so start from the beginning because Devin interrupted.
All right. So then said she, "Sit still, my daughter, until you learn how the matter turns out. For the man will not rest until he finishes the matter today."
Yeah, and I couldn't read any further.
Yeah,
the Lord was on me like fire. It was just like, woo. I had a hard time, didn't I?
Yeah.
The Lord hit me so heavily, and I was just like, I could barely read. I started doing like Holy Ghost shakes and stuff, and my daughter started laughing at me. She was like, "What are you doing?" I'm just like, whoa, just like, man, the Lord is like really letting you know, like, because sometimes we think we hear from God and we're not, and sometimes we get a strong sense and we're like, we really feel like this is the Lord. It turns out to be the Lord, but then there's those times where it's just like nesty plunge, like kaboom, and you're like, okay, there's no question. Like, wow, that is the Lord, And it just too loud for you, buddy.
It was. And that verse, like, it really hit my heart too, and it really just gave me this surge of hope of just like, you know what, God is going to finish what He has started in us. Like, the matter of our hearts, that is what He's working on right now, And
He's been speaking to us about being still the last couple days.
Yeah, really since
we even
last
did a word
week.
about it.
On Sunday
it's just
when
like,
we got the be still. And it's like we're still in that point of just
still sitting on our seat at the graduation, still in the boss's office, still in the lawyer's office, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Waiting to see what we will inherit. And I
it's,
really want my inheritance, man. Not in a prodigal son way. I'm just like, can I get the hookup?
Yeah. Well, and then it's like, be still, and then and until you learn how the matter like turns out. So it's like it's all Him, and really God told us that at the beginning, that or like early on, was just that He's like, it's my turn. This is going to be what happens with you and your family. It's going to be me. Like, it's going to be clearly Him who's working all of these things out. It's not going to be something that we're quote unquote doing, like, oh, we filled out this job application and here we go, now we're moving. No,
it's done all that stuff.
It's like God's like, no, it's going
really
to be me.
Door.
You're going to know that it is me.
Which relates to the Psalm 62:9 maybe or 10, that talks about like men of high station, men of low station don't have power. Power belongs to God.
So it's the Psalm 62:11, and it says, God has spoken once. Twice I have heard this, that power belongs to God.
Yeah. So it's like, and I guess the thing about the my turn, that really kind of came to me after our Brentwood debacle, because we really felt like that was the devil. Like, we were totally deceived. We were totally tricked. Come to find out, it actually was the Lord that we went there. And then we were like, what? That was you? I am so mad at you right now. Sit down. We're going to talk. You can have those kind of conversations with the Lord if you're truly humble in your heart, God's not, he's not offended. That's why he tells us not to get offended or take up offense, because that's not his character. He laughs at us. Like, how many times do we laugh at our kids when they're freaking out and they're angry and it's actually making you laugh?
Yeah. And you're like, I really shouldn't be laughing right now, but because
that's just going to make them even more angry. Right. But I was just like, that was you. And I was just like, I was really super, super grieved. It was before he was born. And I'm kneeling down on the bed. My heart is just moaning and groaning, those groans too deep for utterance. And I was just super grieved. And I'm just praying in the Spirit, real different kinds of prayers. And the Lord just came to me and he was just like, my turn, And he reminded me actually of this movie that I saw once that I don't want to say because it might offend some people, but he reminded me of this movie, and I was like, so it let me know like exactly what he meant, because everyone else tried to attack this guy and it didn't work, and then he was like, all right, now it's my turn, and then he jacked them all up, and so I just felt like that's what the Lord was saying. He was like, it's my turn, and it's like even if you think that's the devil, okay, let me show you, like let me. You've gone through so much disappointment, and I'm getting ready to show you what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is, it's like it wasn't the devil anyway. But let me say, I'm gonna say this to you. I'm not trying to correct your other stuff. I want you to hear what I'm saying right now.
Well, and
like
even
my turn. And then that was months ago, also, by the way.
Well,
I thought you said it was your turn, man.
Yeah. Well, but even when we were there and we were just going through stuff, like God kept saying, like, look to me, like don't look to
the certain officer, because that's really what we were looking for back then. The certain officer. Ooh, God's going to connect us to a certain officer, like Boaz. Boaz was like he was kind of like, he can be kind of like a certain officer situation for Ruth and Naomi, because God connected them with a certain person who had money to. Honestly, I just want God to just connect me with money. Honestly, so I don't need a certain officer, but whatever. God's going to do what he's going to do, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But it's just like, we just really, really want to get out of here, right? And so I was feeling pretty decent, I was feeling like, all right, we have some hope. We have some great hope. And then I get on my YouTube. Okay, can I talk about that YouTube thing for a second? Get on my YouTube first thing yesterday morning. And the video I have about prophetic numbers, I've got 674 videos on my YouTube channel. No, my bad, 374. I was like, whoa, that's a lot of videos. 374 videos. One of them talks about prophetic numbers. The one I just did like a day ago or so, yesterday or whatever.
A
couple days ago. I get on yesterday, and the amount of views on that channel, first thing when I click on YouTube, is 333 views. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm tired of seeing these numbers. Okay, whatever. That's great. Because I kind of brushed it off, because me and my wife were talking about it yesterday, and I was like, I'm kind of getting irritated, actually, by all the numbers.
Yeah, because it's like, it doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Does it mean anything? Like, what?
I know that the numbers have meaning, but
it's like, if you're trying to say something to me, can you just say it?
Yeah,
what's up with all the numbers,
Yeah, it's like when Jesus would sometimes speak, and then the disciples were like, can you just tell us what you mean, because we don't get it.
You got food that we don't. We got food here. What are you talking about, man?
Yeah.
It's like, and then he wouldn't explain himself. Yeah. I mean, he would later on. Yeah. And so this morning, the next day, the same video. I don't make this stuff up. It's crazy, and it's kind of frustrating, because I'm like, could you just tell me, please? But I woke up this morning, and first thing when I check my YouTube, that video has 444 views. I mean, really? I'm just like, this should be really cool, but I know you're trying to say something, and I'm not getting it, and I'm getting really frustrated, but in the most happy kind of way. Yeah. You ever have happiness and frustration mixed in the same soul? Yeah. It's just like, what in the world? And then just below that, was my other video that had 222 views, and it stuck at 222 views. The one I did about worship, where I titled it Worship, 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 2 separate labels on it. I never do that, but I was just like, I'm going to do this twice. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. It's just like, the Lord is just doing something.
Yeah.
You know, with the numbers. And I'm just like, are you serious? But then it's like, okay, I got over that. And I'm just like, is tomorrow going to be 555 views on that prophetic numbers thing?
No.
And then it's like, what's the difference? See, and this is where my mind goes. And I'm going like, dang. I'm like, and what's the difference between 333 and 444? Well, that's 111. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, oh my gosh. I was like, okay, I'm letting it go. Lord, I really want to pursue. So I just sought the Lord. I was like, Lord, if you have something to say to me about these numbers, can you just tell me? I really want. And I just felt like the Lord said, you know, he reminded me of that pouritOut.org thing on the 444s. It talked about creative miracles, creative breakthrough, a creative, like, kind of out of the box way that you didn't see coming or you didn't know was going to happen. It's just like, boom, you know, and it's because it's going to take a miracle to go to the other side for us. So I'm like, okay, we're all waiting for.
Yeah.
And so, but we went on from that. And so we got on my subscriptions, and I subscribed to this one lady's channel. Her name's Joy HELLMANN. I'll link her below. But she had a 1 minute and 50-second video that said it was 9:30:17. It's like prophetic word. And I was like, oh, wow, let me see what Joy's got to say today. And so I checked on hers, and a lot of times she says some really, really, really great stuff. Really great stuff. But it doesn't necessarily minister to me. So but her stuff is really short. You know, if the stuff doesn't minister to me and it's as long as our videos, I would have unsubscribed already. You know what I'm saying? It's just because, you know, if it speaks to you, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But her stuff is really good. I'm linking the channel. So, but today I was just like, okay, she's got another prophetic word, because I love it when she flows in the prophetic word and the word of knowledge. It's really awesome. And so she's outside, and you just have to watch the video. And she's saying, I got a prophetic word for somebody. And it's like, it may be for more than one person, but I definitely know it's for a specific person. And let me tell you what, man, the prophetic word she gave was for us. And we've never got a like direct prophetic word like this is for you. Because I know a lot of people that do that, and you listen to it to see like, ooh, maybe that's for us. Maybe that's for us. We've never, ever once.
Even when we really, really wanted it.
Even when we really wanted it, right? There's people out there that give prophetic words, and they're like, man, I really want this for myself, but you know it's not for you. And it's like, but when she started speaking, I was riveted by every single sentence she spoke, and it was no different than if I went up to prayer at church and I'm praying, you know, they're praying for us, and then they suddenly get a prophetic word, and you just know, like, wow, this is God really speaking to me right now about my situation. But it was from a lady on YouTube. I don't even know where she lives. I don't, you know what I mean? She's a really, really sweet-spirited lady. Sweet. But it's like, I was amazed that, like, wow, God spoke to us literally twice.
Yeah.
About, he's been speaking to us a lot about the same things for the last several days. You know, about the be still. There's the be still part. Can you take him? There's the be still part. But then it's like, I felt like the Lord, you know, he spoke pretty, what is it, concretely? That's not quite the word I'm looking for, but it was a solid communication from the Lord about like, hey, I hear you guys, and I am dealing with the matter even on this day. I am in the process of dealing with this and answering you. I want you to believe in me. I want you to stick with me. I want you to hope in me. I want, you know, and I was just like, yeah, we feel pretty pumped. You know what I mean? And then we get online and get this prophetic word, and I was just like, wow. I mean, it was like, you have to get into it, like read it or look at it for yourself. It's only 1 minute and 50 seconds, but it was amazing. I mean, every single sentence spoke to us about like how God has remembered us and he's seen everything that we've done. We just did a video about that yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was like, what in the world? world, and like how we've paid a high price and we've sacrificed and but we can continue to believe, and he is going to reward us and he's going to recompense us.
Which are two things, the reward and recompense
that's been forever.
With us for a long, long time.
During this whole journey, that was one of the scriptures God brought back from like ancient days of my relationship with God, and he said that this was going to happen, and it never happened. It never happened. And because it's a timing of God issue.
Yeah. And
God's like, now's the time. This year. Yeah. This is when I'm going to do it. And I'm like, okay. And I was like, okay, what are you going to... He's like, and I'm pulling out all the scriptures that I gave to you back in 2000 and back in 2001.
Yeah.
All those scriptures because I was on tour with a band, and God took this 2-year time of me touring with the band to really build in me something, a vision, a dream, a life that he was going to birth at some point. And I'm thinking it's going to be birthed when I'm done with the band. I was done with the band on August 2001. Yeah. And it's just now this year that he's like, I'm bringing all that up now. And I'm forming that in you like a baby now. And I'm like, okay, well, you gave me that this thing will blossom in late winter. And of course, I'm thinking the thing will be burst in late winter. No, it's just blossoming. Yeah. Because there's blossoming. When it comes to an almond tree, there's blossoming, and then there's fruit bearing, and then there's harvesting, right? And so, and the fruit bearing is really when it just becomes fully mature and then it falls to the ground. Yeah. And then you just scoop it up. That's probably the quickest part of a harvest. You scoop up, done. Yeah. You harvest it. Yeah. It's the quickest. A suddenly. It's a good picture of a suddenly, right? Yeah. When the harvest time. Yeah. And and it's just God just been proving that like it is time for that. It is time for that. Because see, God can be saying like, hey, it's time to do this now. It's time to do this now. And it can be a year-long process. You know what I mean? But he's saying like right now, I'm doing it right now. You thought I was doing it back then. I wasn't. I'm doing it now. And it's like, okay, cool. Can I have it? Yeah. It's like, well, hold on. I got to build. I got to structure. I got to form. I got to, but there's coming a time when you're going to inherit. It is going to be time for all these things, and you're going to hold it in your hand. You're going to,
that's why I think this whole time he's been comparing it to having a child, having a baby, because it's
he even gave us one. He literally made us have a baby for the purpose of, there's more to his, but I'm just saying like, it was a significant thing because we were done and we already did that video.
Yeah. So it's just like the idea of having a baby. Once you find out, it's like, well, you don't actually have the baby right then. Like you can take them. Yeah. But it's like it takes 9 months. 9 months for
how long have we been on this journey, babe?
To develop and
9 months.
And for it to become fully formed and fashioned,
It's really longer than 9 months.
And yeah.
Because you stopped working on the 22nd of December. Mm-hmm. So it's been a little longer than 9 months. And funny thing is, he was overdue. Yeah. Seems like our promise is overdue.
Well, I just,
don't want to go all through all that.
No.
Yeah.
But just, and you don't want the baby to be born before it's time. Because there can be complications, there can be issues, and it's like the same with the promises that God has given us. It's like we don't want those things to be born when it really isn't time. And we have God who is obvious. He's like, he doesn't allow that to happen. He's like, I'm not going to be giving you the promises early, even if you're whining and complaining and praying and worshiping and doing all of these things until it is time. It's not going to happen.
Because trust me, if you wait and then when it's fully God's timing to just be like, here you go, boom, you'll be glad you waited. Yeah. And all that mess of the past will be like, what waiting? What pressure? What endurance? What are you talking about? Yeah. I have the baby right here. Yeah, so like getting that word today was just like icing on the cake. It was icing, fruit, and a couple candles lit. Yeah. It was just like, it was so awesome. So super huge thanks to you, Joy, just for even being obedient. How crazy is that? It takes risk to just get online and just be like, hey, I got a word for somebody, and just speak it into the ether. Yeah. And just not know like who's going to respond to it. And a lot of times I think people don't respond. Yeah. They just take it and run with it. But I'm here to say thank you so much because you really, really spoke to our family and just I've always appreciated your gift. I haven't really introduced you to her that much.
No.
But man, thank you for being part of our journey. Thank you for everything that you spoke. It was just icing on the cake to what God was saying to us and what he's been saying to us. And it was almost like, it really was kind of like an icing on the cake. It was kind of like a, hey, I remember. The books are open, and I am going to reward you. It really
was almost this
recompense. She said that word, recompense. And I was like, really?
I felt like it was almost kind of like the summary of our journey.
It really was.
Her word? It was
really
like,
was.
Okay, you know how like when you...
It was the Joy's notes.
Yeah. It's kind of like, when you like the back cover of a book. It gives you like the synopsis.
Yeah.
Although this was like a full synopsis in a way, because it was from like... it just said everything
she
really
had such
about
detail that you just knew like it was the Lord.
Our journey of just like the sacrifice and just keep going and praising and it was really good. But
and that could be a word for you too.
Yeah.
You could listen to it and see if it's for you.
Yeah.
But I think that's it for us today.
Think so.
Yeah. And Michelle was like, "Oh, this should be a short video." I'm like, "Really, babe? Come on now."
We only have this small word to say. Yeah. It's fine. Okay, well, that one verse turns into
big bombs come from small things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, ooh, that's a word for somebody right there. No, I'm just messing with you. But well, that's funny. Michelle, she's tired today, and she was tired yesterday.
I was super tired yesterday.
Super tired yesterday.
Yesterday was...
That's why she didn't talk that much yesterday.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just trying to stand up.
You were probably getting thoughts, and you were like, oh, that's a good thought. Let me say it.
Yeah.
Wait, what was I going to say?
Basically. It was kind of let me just focus on standing.
Yeah.
Because if I can do that...
You said some really good stuff, though, yesterday in that video. So,
but
hey, man, time to repay.
Yes.
And not only that, but that's what Joy was really talking about.
Yeah.
Like, hey, there's going to be a reward.
There's
going to be a recompense. You're going to get a repayment. I was just like, Lord, thank you, because it was so hard. Because I was actually starting to question. I'm like, Lord, is that one of my like little prophetic pitfalls? When I get a word like it's time to, I get excited about it. Oh, this would be great. And it's really not the Lord. And because that's how you can notice like some of your prophetic errors is because they keep happening over and over and over again. But then you just know that the Lord's not quite in it, or there's something that's just not quite right about it. And then you learn and you go, okay, and then you just grow from it. Like I said yesterday, when you're right, you grow. When you're wrong, you grow. Mm-hmm. But it's like, it's just so awesome. So thanks again, Joy, for that prophetic word. It was awesome. It was really the icing on the cake for us. God used you big time.
Yeah. And I think just... Again, to summarize this little video here is just like for us, what really spoke out is that God is going to finish what he has started.
Yeah. Sit still.
Just sit still and see how God is going to work things out.
How he's going to solve the matter.
Yeah. And it's like it said too, he is not going to rest until he does it. And that was also a very important thing. It's like God is actively working. Mm-hmm. He's not sitting back going, okay, I'm gonna wait for this time to come. No, he's like, I am actively pursuing, actively going after this so that it does come to pass.
Yeah.
And so that I just wanted to recap that, because I think that's really important, of just knowing like God is actively going after the promises that he's given us.
Right, because I referenced this before, and I want to just bring it out again. Jeremiah chapter 1. This is how a lot of it started, just like this. Can you take him again, babe? It's baby volley. It's starting in verse 11. It says, "Moreover, the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Jeremiah, what do you see? And I said, I see a branch or shoot of an almond tree, the emblem of alertness and activity, blossoming in late winter." God gave that to me, 17 years ago. And he was like, this is what's going to happen when you start to see it blossom. It's just going to be the time for it to start the birthing.
Yeah.
Then said the Lord to me, you have seen well, for I am alert and active, watching over my word to perform it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I felt like that was another part of wow, you know what? I'm just getting this right now. And I know we've kind of mentioned in this video, but it's like, I really do feel like God is saying today, like, I'm summing it up. I'm wrapping it up. Mm-hmm. I'm sealing it. I'm tightening the bow on the present. 6 inches.
Watch Elf if you want that reference.
Another movie quote: 6 inches. But because once you did that little ribbon thing and get the little curly cues on the ribbon, there's nothing left to do. That's like the last part of it. Yep. And then you just put it under the tree. And so I just really felt like the Lord was saying that. Like right now, it's like I feel like for our lives, and maybe it resonates with you, but it's like it is finished. It's like God's like He's ready to just be like, okay, I'm good. Let's call him in. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let's call him in. Ooh, I feel the Lord on that one. Let's call him in.
Yes.
Oh. Oh my gosh. I don't want to have a Holy Ghost party right here on the video. But anyway, God bless you guys. Do you have anything else to say?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right, man. I am super excited because I really felt the Lord on that one. That was a good one. He was like, I am really wrapping these things up. Like really, like truly finishing. Not finishing touches, which means wait longer.
Yeah.
But I really feel like the Lord's saying like, I am done. Like I am about ready to just call you in.
Yeah.
And now you're going to see what I've been working. You're going to actually see it with your eyes. Not hear it in the spirit and get emails from God's heart and all that, little text messages. You're going to see it.
It's like when we, like on birthdays, with the kids. It's like you get everything all set up. And once we have it all set up and ready.
Then you bring them out.
Then we're like, okay, guys, you can come out now.
And what's the look on their face?
Oh, my gosh. They're always just like...
When we do birthdays for them, we have like almost no money when it comes to the kids' birthdays. We have to wait, honestly, a lot of times for in-laws. But our kids, they are super excited. They come out and they're like, whoa.
This is awesome.
See, and that's what the Lord's working on. He's not working on okay. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's nice. Oh, thank you. Okay. You know what I mean?
No.
He's working on an awe. After the days of awe, there will be awe. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just like, whoa. Really?
Yeah.
For those who've been faithful.
Yeah.
So, praise the Lord.
Yeah.
And in conclusion... I think we tried to end the video like 6 times.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But, all right. So we hope you guys were blessed by that as always. Thank you so much to you guys who have been supporting us and who have continued to give us offerings. It's been super amazing. We can't even tell you.
Yeah.
And for those of you who even want to do it but have found trouble in doing so, bless you. Bless you as if you've actually given.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, we just really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So.
We really do.
Yeah.
So, until next time, we'll see you later.
Well, until we're coming at you.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.